Hello everyone. I welcome you all to class 10 social science. Hope you are doing pretty well. So today I'm going to start the topic federalism, the next part. So in the previous session we learned about the definition of federalism, then difference between unitary and federal form of government, features of federalism and type of federalism. So today I will continue with what makes India a federal country. This is very important in the context of India, as we all know that India is a diverse country. So what were the provisions made for India to make it a federal country? So let's begin the chapter. Here, what makes India a federal country? So in the previous sessions, we learned about power sharing in Belgium and Sri Lanka. And also, we saw that these two countries, even though very small in size, but they faced a lot of challenges in sharing power because of their diversity. So now let's understand a little bit about the background of India's federal system. Everybody knows that India got independent in 1947, and after that there were many princely states, like 565 princely states were there, and they came together and form a bigger unit, that is our country India. Okay, that's why in the constitution it is declared that India is a state union of states. The word federation was written, but it is said the Indian Union is based on the principle of federalism. So what is the principle of federalism? It is basically sharing power among different levels of the government. Like different levels, it is vertical power sharing from top to bottom approach, central government at the top, then state government, and then local levels of government. Clear? So in this chapter we will study about them in detail. See, originally India did not have three levels of power sharing. It was only two. One was central government and the state government. But with the passage of time, in 1992, an act was passed by the parliament, and local levels of government were given the constitutional status. So there were two types of local levels of government. One was panchayat at the local level, means rural area, and municipalities in the urban area. So Panchayati Raj institution in India came into existence by the 73rd constitutional amendment, and municipalities came into existence by 74th constitutional amendment. An interesting thing over here is that these two constitutional amendment came in the same year, that is 1992. So when these constitutional amendment came into existence, then India became three-tier federal country. First, central government, that is very powerful. Second, state levels of government. Third, it is the local level of government. Clear? Now let's move to the next part. See, I would like to read a little bit about this. You can see. The constitution originally provided for a two-tier system of the government. The union government, or what we call central government, representing the Union of India, and the state government. Later the third tier of federalism was added. Just now I discussed with you. Here you can see that in the form of panchayats and municipalities, third tier. Here now let's understand how power has been shared among the three different levels. You can see the constitution clearly provided a threefold distribution of legislative powers between union government and the state government. Okay, so you will see there are three lists. So now let's understand the list one by one. They are very, very important. You might get question about all the three lists, like what makes India a federal country. The first, it will be division of power among different levels of the government through three lists. So first list, it is the union list. So in union list, you will see there are many provisions, or I must say many subjects. Earlier there were subjects, means the functions or the jurisdiction. The central government or the union government can make laws and take care of them. So union list, there were earlier 97 subjects. But now, after an amendment, there are 100 subjects. Clear? So these 100 subjects are very, very important for our nation, for the country's interest. So now let's understand what are those subjects. Here, defense of the country, you can see national importance such as defense of the country, foreign affairs, banking, communication, and currency. These are very, very important subjects for the country's interest. So now understand what is defense of the country, meaning there are three types of defense system in India. One is army, then navy, and air force. Clear? So these are taken care by the central government. All the affairs will be managed by the central government. Second is foreign affairs. So what is foreign affairs? It deals with the relation with our neighboring countries, also foreign countries. So what kind of relation? Might be trade related relation with Russia. It is very friendly. Why? Because in the past, Russia helped us in overcoming food insecurity in our country after independence. Clear? So now let's move to the next part of this chapter. Included in this list because we need a uniform policy on these matters throughout the country. And the union government alone can make laws relating to these subjects mentioned in this union list. So only union government has the right to take care of these matters. They can make any law or they can bring changes in these laws. Only and only union government can do it, not any other government. Clear? Now let's move to the next part of this list. So three lists. First it is union list or central list. Second it is the state list. In state list you will see earlier there were 66 subjects. How many subjects? 66. Now we have 61 subjects. And these subjects are very important. Why? Because they take care of the state as a whole. So they deals with the problems or challenges related to the state itself. For example, you can see local importance, police, trade, commerce, agriculture, and irrigation. Clear? Let me underline, it will be easier for you to understand. So, local importance, that means local levels of government such as police, trade, commerce, agriculture, and irrigation. These are some of the important subjects given to the state. Okay, so now you can see only state government can make laws relating to these subjects mentioned in this list. Now let's move to the concurrent list. So here you will see concurrent list is a list in which the subject matters are such that state as well as the central government can make laws. It is clearly mentioned over here, you can see. Why? Because the subjects of common interest to both the union as well as the state government, such as you can see in the next page. Education, forest, trade unions, marriage, adoption, and succession. These are some of the important subjects mentioned in the concurrent list. So this is the list where central as well as the state government can make laws. So how many subjects earlier it had? It had only 47. Now with the constitution amendment there were 52. There are 52 subjects mentioned in this list. Okay, you have to remember this list or number is very important even though it is not mentioned in your book. Okay. So both union conflict arises between central and state government relating to making laws in these subjects, then the final say will be of central government. You can see clearly it is mentioned laws conflict with each other, the law made by the union government will be. In this context you can see the central government becomes powerful. See, what about subjects that do not fall in of the three lists? So there are some subjects which are not mentioned in the third list or concurrent list, none of the lists basically. So what will happen? Who will make laws relating to those subjects if any conflict arises? So here you will see again the union government. Clear? Because union government in India is very powerful. Why? Because India has holding together federation where the states or the units were not given that much power. That's why central government takes all the major decisions, and the central government's decision is the final. Okay, you can see, according to our constitution, the union government has the power to legislate the residuary subject. Residuary subjects meaning the subject which do not come under any list. Residuary list that contains subject, residuary list that contains subject like, you can see, computer software. So when constitution came up, there was no such subjects, but now with the passage of time we can see many new developments are happening, and because of that those subjects are put in the residuary subject. And who will take care of this subjects? The central government. If any conflict arises, the central government decision will be the final. Clear? This paragraph is saying that India has holding together federation, and that's why we do not, the constituent units of the states are not that powerful. Already I discussed, it is mentioned here, I'm just underlining, you can see. Holding together do not equal power on its constituent units. All states in India do not have identical power. Identical powers meaning the central and state government both do not have equal powers. They differ in power share. Some state enjoy special powers. Special powers meaning or special status, that is basically they get support from central government due to their socio-cultural and geographical challenges, and it primarily focus on the economic assistance from the central government. You have to remember this. So you can see here how central government is becoming powerful. So in case of residuary power, the final decision will be of the central government. In case of special status given to any state, final decision will be taken care by the central government. Clear? So what are the states? Now let's see. States as such as Assam, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh, Mizoram enjoy special status. Why? Because they have distinct culture. You can see their geographical location. Also, there are some other criteria. We will read about them in the next paragraph. See here, you can see. Powers under certain provisions of the Constitution of India, Article 73-71. So this is very important to remember the article. The Article 371 deals with the special powers of certain states, namely Assam, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram. Clear? Why they have given special status? Just now I explained, maybe because of their socio-cultural background or geographical challenges. So here you can see their peculiar social and historical circumstances. These special powers are specially enjoyed in relation to the protection of land rights of indigenous people. So here indigenous people meaning people those who are originally from that particular place. Then you can see their culture and also preferential employment in government services. So you can see how India is a distinct or diverse country, so and how power has been shared among different distinct groups. So Indians who are not permanent resident of the states cannot buy house. So what are the basic principles of giving some special status to the states? Indians who are not permanent resident of the states cannot buy land or house. Okay. So if you want to buy land or house in Assam or Nagaland, Manipur, you have to be, indigenous person of that state. Now let's move to the other part. Okay, you can see India has many union territories. How many union territories do we have? Now we have 8. Earlier we have, and these union territories have very small power. Like you can see written in this book, I'm underlining. Indian Union, which enjoy very little power. These are because of these are areas which are too small to become an independent state, but which could not be merged with any of the existing states. So what are the criteria of an union territory? First, maybe because its area is too small that it cannot become an independent state, also cannot be merged with the independent state. That's why what happens, the central government takes care of the union territories. See here again, you can see the central government is powerful in terms of taking care of union territories. So you can see Indian federalism is not uh, like other federal countries. Here you can see tendency centralized tendency, meaning the central government has immense power to make changes in laws related to special status given to some states. Then union territory, also residuary power and concurrent list. Chandigarh, Lakshadweep, or the capital city of Delhi, called union territories. And these union territories do not have the power of the state. So the central government has special power in running these areas. Okay. One very important criteria of India's federalism. What is that? That is the making of legislation. Power sharing arrangement. The parliament cannot on its own change the arrangement. Any change to it has to be first passed by both the houses of the parliament with at least 2/3 majority. Be ratified by the legislature of at least half of the total states. India has 28 states. So out of 28, like 14 states are supposed to give ratification for the legislation in terms of bringing any change in the sharing of power. Also, 2/3 majority needs to be past the resolution. Another important role played by the judiciary. Yesterday we learnt about judiciary, that it is central judiciary, or I must say Supreme Court is the highest court, and it has final decision making process, and it is the interpreter of our constitution, guardian of our constitution. Also, if any problems between state and central government arise, the final decision will be taken by the Supreme Court. So now here let's understand how judiciary plays an important role in implementing the constitutional provisions. See, in case of any dispute about the division of powers, the High Court and Supreme Court make a decision. The union and the state government have the power to raise resources by levying taxes in order to carry on the government and the responsibilities assigned to each of them. So here you can see the dispute related to division of power will be resolved by the Supreme. In this chapter we learnt about provisions made to make India a federal country. First we saw it is the division of power among different levels of government: central, state and local. So earlier in the beginning in our constitution only 2 levels of government were there, or 2 tiers of governments were there. Then later in 1992 we saw by the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment there was third level given constitutional status, and there are 3 lists related to division of power among center and state government. So 3 lists are central list, state list and concurrent list. So central list is meant for taking care of the subjects at the central level or country as a whole, and second is it is the state level. So in state level you will see that state government takes care of the local problems, and there is concurrent list. So in that list central as well as the state government can make laws and bring changes, but if any dispute arise between these two, what will happen? Central government will take the final decision. And there is one more aspect in this context is residuary power. So in the case of residuary power, who has the ultimate power? It is the central government. So you can see that central government is being powerful, or I must say Indian federalism has centralized tendency. Okay, why? Because India is a holding together federation. In holding together federation, the federal units were not given equal power, or they do not have symmetrical power. Symmetrical power meaning state and central government will have equal power. Such provision is not mentioned anywhere in the constitution. Then there is another feature, that is special status. Some states of India has given special status like Assam, Nagaland, Arunachal Pradesh and Mizoram. Why? Because of their geographical condition as well as their socio-cultural challenges. The next you will see union territory. So how power has been shared among different levels of government. In that case, we learned about union territory. The union territories are also taken care by the central government, makes laws for them. Okay class, so today I will end my session here. If you like the content, subscribe my channel and share it to your friends, those who need this. Take care, bye bye, see you in the next session.